biggest hint is in the name. They didn't call the event Badlands because it's all shiny and happy. This thing just blew my mind. Someone brought my attention to an event just held in and around the Sierra Nevada mountains in Spain called Badlands. It's 820 kilometers long, 16,000 meters of climbing, completely on your own from the start to the finish line. The most I'd ever ridden when I was competing on a bike was maybe 240 kilometers. Like, how do you ride 800 or 820 kilometers? I just couldn't comprehend it. Then I started to talk to some of the athletes who had taken it on. They were helping us with the development of the bike. I guess subliminally over time, the event started to creep into my psyche. I'd been asked many times, repeated by friends, like, hey, you know, do you want to go and do this race or whatever? I just wouldn't have an interest. I left it all out on the road when I was younger. I would always say I was a kind of a good international rider, represented Ireland many times, kind of European, World Championship levels. But I hadn't pinned on a number in maybe 20 years and had no desire to at all. But again, this thing just, I don't know, there was a spark, and then the spark lit something up, and then it quickly grew out of control. Well, the thing about Badlands is, I think every year about 3,500 people apply to ride Badlands. There's only space for about 280 participants, so the chances of actually getting in are quite slim. A friend of mine actually entered us as a pair. I didn't think much of it. And then, he said, yeah, we're successful, we got in. So I was like, oh. And I was probably a little bit shell-shocked for the first month or so. Then it's just a matter of riding your bike. I think, you know, the biggest one's obviously mental resilience, but there's so much climbing. You've got to arrive in good condition. So we started with the bike. The bike led to Badlands, and it's the type of thing where you kind of really need to sit down and choose every specific component of the bike before you hit that start line. If we really want to put a hand on the heart and say, hey, you know, we believe this is one of the best bikes in the market, it's only right then that we kind of, you know, take some of our own medicine and get on the start line too. I think the attraction to gravel, particularly from people who've spent a lot of time riding the road, is I think it brings you back to the very initial moment when you started riding the bike. It's probably your first sense or first taste of freedom. The road over time can obviously weigh you down. I think it can be a little bit restrictive. I don't think it matters where you live. And gravel just opens up this freedom and the joy of being able to ride closer to nature in the forest, not having to look over your shoulder saying, is this guy going to try and pass me before this bend? I mean, I've been riding the same roads for 30 years, but all of a sudden now you're exploring, hey, where does that little gravel trail there on the left lead you? I think it's brought a lot of people like myself back into the sport, and particularly an event like Badlands, because if you think about it, we spent so many years following a very predetermined, almost sterile route. And then you see something like this exist, and it just literally blows your mind, to be honest.
Now, when you say it's not for everyone, is that Badlands or the bike?
That's kind of us in general.
That's us in general.
We often say internally, hey, we realize we're not for everyone because we've never really tried to jump on the back of trends or things like that. If we're going to do something, if we're going to launch something, it's because we have a very precise vision of what we believe it should be. And in some cases, that tends to be quite a contrarian view, and you just got to own it. Would it be easier just to do another cookie cutter aero bike or gravel bike like everyone else? Maybe it would, but that's just not who we are. It doesn't sit well with us. This bike is built for a reason, it's built for a purpose, and it's one that I'm perfectly happy to ride through the deserts in Spain in, so I think it makes sense.
Yeah, look, okay.
How was that? Was that all right? Or?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. We're gonna just